let's play Internet Spaceships with Captain Muffins here. What I'm going to be showing you right now is just running missions and how to find them when you're first starting out. So you can avoid the tutorial if you don't want to, and just jump right into the missions as well as setting up the ship training. So I'm going to be using basic ships here, and I'll include the basic fittings that you can use to fly the missions. Mind you, I do have a lot better skills, so chances are that's going to really affect it when we do get to the level 2 missions. So first off, what we want to do is open up the menu here, and under business, go to Agent Finder. Depending on which race you select when you started out, what you're going to want to do is probably select something more relevant to that. I started as Minmatar, so I chose Republic Fleet. If you're Caldari, it's more than likely Caldari Navy. Yeah, Caldari Navy. Galante would be similar, as well as Amar. So after you select the corporation here, you want security type as, or the agent type as security, and then region, if you want to keep to your region up here, just select your region from there, or you can show them for anywhere, which will give you a lot more. Just to keep it close, I'm going to keep it in my region right now. And alternatively, if you really do want to select the agents in your system here, you can select it there. And of course, you want to keep it in high sec. If you go to low sec or null sec, people can kill you there, and they more than likely will. So first what we're going to do is right click on an agent we're going to go to. So there's 3 here, so I'm just going to go to that place. So right click on the system name here and set destination. You'll notice here it is now showing you where you're going here. So let's head on over there. And just while we're going, I'll explain what's up here. This is the agent level. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to run a lot of missions to get up to higher standings. And a little while ago they changed it so level 5s now are only low sec. So unless you do have a corporation that is sitting at low sec system, it's not usually safe to run missions unless you're watching Directional Scanner, which I'll get into more in a future episode about PvP and wormholes. So as you can see here, this just has a lot of information on here. Little brackets you've seen there were player ships. Right here, this is a player ship. This up here is a Stargate. Not sure why this is on here. I don't really care about what that is. It's usually just some kind of random anomaly you can run here. And then what I'm doing is just flying to where we're supposed to go for this mission. Yellow means that is our destination. And this is the basic module overview here. Goes shield, armor, and then structure. The little gauges here are for when you do overheat things. When you're first starting out, I would recommend against that, as if you don't pay careful enough attention, you can burn your module out and be stuck in that mission or whatever situation you're in with a dead module and having to warp out, if you can warp out. This is your current speed. You can either stop your ship using that, or set your maximum speed by clicking that. And as you see here, the yellow names here means they have a low security status. Anything below 0, they'll pop up as yellow on the overview here. Nothing really to worry about that. That just means they've either done PvP or suicide ganking. Anything along the lines that would drop their security. And right here you can see the modules that are on my ship here, whether active or inactive. The first one here are my guns, and a recent patch actually now lets you hover over this to show you your ranges and your damage. So as you can see here, I'm using Tech 2 guns and Tech 2 ammo with an optimal range of 600 meters. Usually you want to keep at your optimal range if you're fighting a bigger ship, and since I'm in a frigate, that'd be either like a destroyer, cruiser, or God forbid I'm going against a battleship in this. damage can vary depending on how fast the ship you're hitting is moving, as well as their signature radius. Just a rule of thumb, if it's the same size as you, just keep your distance and stick around your fall off range, which in this case would be 4,200 meters for me, and then just feel it out to see if you can actually get closer. Now you've got missiles here, which are great for hitting things up close, or if you're within range, anything really, because they don't get affected by speed as much and don't vary when they're hitting. And then you can see the max range here is 7,560 meters. Next module on there is my afterburner. That makes your ship go faster without increasing your signature radius, like the micro warp drive does. However, it's not as fast. And then what you see here with the little charges load is the medium ancillary shield booster, which is great on small ships because you can use the charges that are in there to avoid touching your cap, which otherwise would normally cause your capacitor there to drain really fast if you're using a medium. And then damage control basically controls the damage when it gets to your structure primarily, where it gives you 50% resists, and it's a lot lower on both your armor and shield. So what we're doing now is warping to the station to grab the mission. Now that we're here, hopefully when you dock up there, you also make sure that the agents are available to you when you're going through the agent finder. Since I've already ran a lot of missions for Republic Fleet, most agents are available to me up until level 5s. And you just want to make sure this is checked when you're looking for the agents, so you don't go and fly somewhere and you can't even run the mission for them. So what I'm going to do is just quickly grab a mission here. Make sure it's close, and then run it. So basically all you need to do is fly to the mission location and kill some pirates. So I'm going to accept that mission there, undock, and then fly to it. And as well, with the recent patch that came out, it also has something for your missions here that'll give you the information, as well as give you a lot more options you can click. Before this, you would have to click in space and warp there. So I'll just use this thing here and warp to the location. If you aren't in the same system, you would just right click on system again and set the destination. And just quickly to also open it, when you do complete the mission, this will turn into a green channel. It's payback time. So what I'm going to do is set my orbit distance here, so to 1,000 meters. And to set it, you just right click on this icon here and set default orbit distance. You can quickly lock any ship by holding Control and then clicking on the target here. And by orbiting, you keep your ship constantly moving, which allows you to mitigate some damage if they're using turrets. If you move faster, the damage will lessen. However, they're only hitting me for like 1 damage, so it's not too much to worry about. It's more something to pay attention to in level 2s or higher. And as you can see, that was a really quick level 1 mission there to run. And what I'll pretty much do is just jump into a level 2 after this, where it will be a little more complicated. And then I'll move on to level 3 and see if this ship can handle that as well. So until next time, I am Captain Muffins, and keep watching.